At 15 years, Grace was groomed and sexually assaulted by his 58-year-old math teacher. I'm your host, Regine Brianna. Grooming refers to a process by which an individual builds a relationship with a child with an intention of sexually abusing or exploiting them. I will be using Grace's story to explain the various phases of grooming. Grace was a 15-year-old girl struggling with anorexia. Anorexia is an eating disorder that is characterized by intense fear of gaining weight and a distorted body image. She had been hospitalized, bedridden, and tube-fed for at least 6 weeks. After she was discharged, the school staff knew that she was sick because they had to monitor her eating program during the school days. It's when the math teacher targeted her, and that takes us to the first phase of grooming, targeting. The perpetrator identifies a victim, someone who is vulnerable or isolated, and begins to engage with them. Apart from Grace's ailment, the math teacher knew that she was coming from a broken home. Her mom and dad had separated while she was young, and therefore she craved for attention, she craved for a friend, and because the perpetrator knew all this, the second phase of grooming, that is gaining trust, became so easy for him. By presenting as a friend, showing concern and offering help, predators are able to lure their targets into a false sense of security. And this marks the third phase of grooming, feeling a need. This phase involves identifying a specific gap in the target's emotional support network and then playing a role to fill the gap. In Grace's story, the math teacher assumed a role of a sympathizer, telling Grace all that she wanted to hear. He then went ahead to isolate Grace from his true support network, which takes us to the fourth phase of grooming, isolation. As they have forged an attachment, the perpetrators begin dissolving the target's true support network by discouraging contact, by mocking, by discouraging contact with others. From my story, the teacher undermined Grace's perception on her father by reminding her that he had abandoned her, he never loved her, and it was at this point she felt the constant and unrelenting feeling of being alone. She became untethered between her and her loved ones and her sense of self. Once the support system of the victim had been compromised, the relationship between the victim and the perpetrator strengthens, and the perpetrator is protected from the abuser's ability to escape, especially when it comes to the fifth phase of grooming, which is sexualizing. By gradually exposing children to explicit materials, pedophiles normalize sex so that when physical abuse is initiated, it's less shocking. In Grace's story, the pedophile encouraged her to watch films glorifying victims between characters with significant age difference. And lastly, in the sixth phase of grooming, that is maintaining control, they work to maintain control over the victims by manipulating and threatening them with exposure or to harm them. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe as well as we embark on the journey of grooming. See you on the next video.